Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people of all ages. Welcome to the BTS Pro Series numero 5. I'm your play-by-play caster Party PD, and with me for this day is ET Doty. I had him yesterday, you get it today, you're gonna get it for the next 4 days. ET, how you doing? I almost broke my keyboard.
Don't break your keyboard. Too excited to be casting again, but let's get right into the draft. They took Luki Mars away from him. They banned out the Pango. He's been playing Mars pretty much the entire tournament and doing very successful with it. But they give Yarn B9 Keeper of the Light. And that's one of the strongest heroes of the patch that we've seen. Of course, we get the prerequisite Alk ban, as that hero's kind of come through, as well as the prerequisite Ray Lisa Storm Spirit ban. But letting Coddle through is definitely a risk. That hero is so strong in so many different team compositions. I'm surprised they let it through, but you've got to give him something when you got to ban out the Pango every game, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's also like a million other heroes. There's not that many in the game, but there's a lot of other heroes to pick from as well when it comes to that, leaving one open and getting the signature bans out instead of the meta-based bans. So, like you were talking about, they had to let the Mars go because the Keeper of the Light is just way too good. We saw it yesterday with a lot of not relocates, recalls. They brought him back in multiple times across the map, basically. Like, it's basically like having another Boots of Travel in the game. Like, 2 Boots of Travel on 1 man on a horse.
Oh boy. Now, I believe that is a Bloody 9 position 5 Queen of Pain, or it's a Ray Lisa Quap. That's another one of his signature heroes, but it's interesting to see it this early, especially since we've still got the Puck, we've still got the Void Spirit, we still have those incredibly good heroes. We still have Death Prophet in the pool. So Quap is an interesting route to take this draft for DogChamp.
I mean, if they're going to make this sit for a Quap 5, I imagine they'd probably respond running DP 5. But, you know, with the Puck being open, and this is actually one of my most favorite heroes to talk about, because it's a really strong mid lane hero, but it's also one of the best early roaming heroes for a mid position, because it's just, as soon as Puck hits 6, the first thing you want to do is leave the lane, pop a coil on your opposing safe laner or off laner, and just get a kill every single time. And
with the Mars as well, it's just so good.
Yeah, you can combo it extremely well with the eventuality of an arena, but like, you could bait the coil spot or break the coil bait the break spot by throwing a spear out from Mars and just getting the try to say that 10 times fast. Try to get the spear out on top and then get the stun damage with the break damage. So it's like a really solid pick with Mars already, and Mars is equally as heavy as a roaming based hero as soon as he's level 6 with the Blink Dagger. Well, don't get a Blink at 6. It's going to be a little while till then, but so far with Infinity's draft, like, I'm liking it because it is very roaming based heroes, but DogChamp have that flexibility like you were talking about. It could be 5, it could be Core Quap, who knows?
Well, and I've definitely been seeing B9 play a lot of 5 Quap if it really does become quite a bad Quap game. And I mean, even just letting the Puck through, I mean, Infinity Esports, it's just a very good response to it. It's one of the few heroes in the game that can dominate Quap in lane, because you can't dagger the Puck, so you have to go for the max Scream of Pain build. And then getting runes is just always a problem because you're going to get coiled and you can't blink. You just have to sit there and fight him. And it makes the rotations really hard, but they ban out all of the good 4s, I think, because they want to secure Ray's lane in this draft.
Yeah, Earth Spirit being a good opening ban. We talked about it yesterday. A lot of people who pick up this Earth Spirit really know how to play it, so it's a really good ban to get out here. Nyx Assassin still being banned out as well. It's very uncommon, I think, in at least of recent times, to see him banned in second phase, but it is another one of the nicer position 5, position 4s. And then we saw a lot of Phoenix yesterday as well, which had the flex off lane. But it does leave open the Tiny, which is another one of the heroes that we saw a lot of yesterday too, and mostly picked up against the Phantom Assassin-esque drafts.
Well, and it's just a great hero to pick in that position, because you just leave everything open. You don't have the last pick in
10
this phase,
seconds
so you're just
remaining.
keeping your lineup so fluid, so you can really put anyone
Five
anywhere. And
seconds
that's the
remaining.
strength of the puck as well, where you can put this as an offlaner, you could put it as a 4, or you could run it mid versus the Quap, and it's really going to be, I think, we have to wait until these players pick their heroes before we really see which position everything goes in, because, I mean, even yesterday, we saw the Mars being put as a 5, just kind of out of the blue, but...
I don't know about that game if we could use that as a good sample size, to be honest. But I mean, Mars 5 was good in that scenario in specific because there was also a life stealer, which I have not seen in ages either.
Radiant
So
team pick.
When Infinity Esports is one of the few teams that have actually run Mars mid in this tournament specifically, so we've got options. But with the Ogre Magi, I think that is going to be B9's hero, so it's gonna be a Ray mid quap, at least so far.
10 seconds remaining.
And I mean, you've got to
5
give
seconds
him the
remaining.
quap, I feel like, because he's so good at it. It's his like top 3 heroes. His Storm always gets banned. And that's kind of DogChamp's shtick, I feel like, is that they just have these super strong comfort heroes and they play around the fact that you either have to ban them or you have to play versus them, and then something gets through. But last pick in the phase, I'm trying to figure out which hero Luki's gonna play because I mean
there's
with
no
the Mars
Pango.
gone, the puck, no
So
Pango. Usually you drop down and you pick up the Slardar in these situations, but I don't know if you necessarily want to pick that hero because you need some form of lockdown for the puck with the Ogre pickup.
yeah, this is definitely not the Slardar draft.
Dire
Even if
team
so,
pick.
like the Tiny can burst them down so easily, and even with the Dark Willow now too, like capitalizes on the very precipice of a team fight basically because like his whole point is being in there, and I'm equally as confused as you. They banned out a lot of the very good heroes that
10
is a Luki
seconds
signature,
remaining.
but maybe they want to maybe save that pick for
5
last.
seconds
But even
remaining.
then you'd be revealing an even more important role, and you don't want to be tossing that out immediately. I don't even. Where is the rest of the Lukis? Where is Luki's draft? I had everything up for Dota Plus or Dota Plus. I had everything up in Dota Buff to figure out what all the drafts were, and I closed it all right before this. So I was gonna say, oh, Luki could just do this, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have it up anymore. I
Well,
mean, Jug is in the pool, but I doubt this is
I've
a
got
Jug
it up
game
for
either.
you. I mean, he's been playing
Dire
a little bit
team
of Sand King, a little bit of Death Prophet, and they're going to go for the Timber Saw.
So
And hmm,
it feels like it's not exactly the best of picks, but it's the closest safe
Radiant team
draft pick they could go for right now. It's good against the Mars, but like Tiny can still kind of burst it down relatively quickly. Obviously, he just can't trade right clicks into him.
Dire team ban.
and I mean, immediately taking out the Ursa, they just want to give the Luki a pretty good lane, and that is a weakness sort of in Infinity Esports draft where the Dark Wolf 5, while we have seen it be pretty successful, I think win rate wise, you are giving Timbersaw a relatively
10
free time,
seconds
so they should
remaining.
just be banning out more safe lane heroes that they should be scared of. But Slark, Wraith
5
King,
seconds
Ursa
remaining.
already taken out of the pool. I think both teams are probably looking towards that Jug pickup. That's the hero I think that a lot of teams have made a staple.
Radiant team
I
ban.
was gonna say MK was also still in the pool, which is one of the ones we usually see against the Timbersaw as well, but not in this game now. But it is like you're saying, wrapping back over to the Jug, and I think it's definitely a hero that both could pick right now. There's no real
10
downside
seconds
for either
remaining.
team because Jug is that nice little safe staple, more or
5
less.
seconds
Like it
remaining.
used to be the slot where AM would go, and now AM's not
Dire
really in that
team
same
ban.
position. They banned the Jug. All right.
Okay, so we're probably looking more towards the Weaver Trolls, I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
then. Because it feels like those heroes are just a step above any other hero in the meta right now. Those heroes can just roll towers, they roll Roche, they are so good. The
10
like
seconds
anti-armor
remaining.
strat.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, I
And
was gonna
yep,
say
there's
I
the troll.
imagine Dog would take Troll and Infinity would then take Weaver.
And the Weaver versus Troll matchup is sort of interesting, and I think they could definitely run it, even though the core matchup definitely favors Troll, just because there's so little lockdown on DogChamp.
10
It's really
seconds
going to be
remaining.
down to Quap getting her Orchid in a reasonable amount of time,
5 seconds
and
remaining.
yeah, there we go.
Now select your heroes.
Hey, you hit the nail on the head on that one. I mean, it's the safest course they could really go for. If the Jug wasn't picked up or wasn't banned, it would probably be in the slot where the Troll is, and then Infinity would probably take Troll themselves, to be honest. But, you know, with that quick ban out there, they're just going to run with the Weaver Troll. And I do like to see a good Troll game, but it is, like you were saying, it is kind of a little bit of a harder game for them. Because we're sitting at the fact that Troll is one of the 2 technical lockdowns in the game up until, like you were saying, the Orchid is up on Quap. Because Troll, you have to rely on nets, and RNG is not a fun tactic to
10
rely upon.
seconds remaining.
Well, and similar to a lot of other
5
kind of
seconds
NA
remaining.
team comps we've seen in the tournament so far, DogChamp are Team Chaos at this point, whereas Infinity Esports have a really dominant team fight ability. All of the team fight spells on Infinity Esports pretty much trump everything on DogChamp up until Yaren's able to get maybe an Aghanim Scepter. But I think DogChamp are really banking on the fact that they get a lot out of these lanes, and if I think if the lanes start going south for DogChamp, then Infinity Esports have a really good chance of just rolling them, because all of the heroes on Infinity Esports really do a lot with levels, really do a lot with very little farm, and I think they can snowball that really hard if they get any kind of a lead in the early game.
Well, we'll just see how they're going to have to answer that. Whether or not, I mean, this doesn't feel like it's going to be that early game draft. Well, I mean, they got the tiny, but
It's more so you hit that 10-minute power spike where Puck is level 6, maybe your Mars is everybody on every 6th spike on Infinity Esports is just a lot stronger as opposed to Dog Champs.
Yeah, I mean, what 6 for DogChamp is you have the RNG chance for more stuns from Ogre, or you have Troll's escape, more or less. And I mean, Quap, you get the team vital, so that's good. Then you get the
Prepare for battle.
Chakram from Timber Saw, which also
I
confirms
don't know
kills.
what I was expecting.
But yeah, the gravity of 6s for
Just a wee fairy.
Infinity versus DogChamp. Yeah, this part I don't miss. By the way, when they do the all chat stuff at the very beginning with the lines, and I can't talk over them.
Yes.
That's the part I don't miss. I miss all the BM stuff in the middle of the game, but at the start of the game when I'm trying to intro, it's like, please.
A well-timed voice
Mercy.
line really cuts deep, you know, as well. If they hit a really good one, PL comes to mind always. I remember the Pycat clips.
That was the first one that really like hit hard. Such simple minds.
Such
was literally
simple
the
minds.
opener to all people knowing that chat lines actually hit harder than not saying anything.
One interesting, I think this is the first series where there isn't a 4-man squad checking out the mid laner's ward, so that's going to be a not a series of contention here.
Hey, so much for thinking that it might be the new meta thing to do that. I say that though, I mean they are lining 3 to 4 heroes that were down at this bot rune, but that's kind of standard.
The battle
So I guess we're not
begins.
doing the whole mid scout thing. Maybe they just like, we know that you're gonna have wards in the mid. It's not gonna do much. Because again,
Yeah.
both of these heroes are, once they're 6, they roam. So
And I mean, Keeper of the Light's just so fast. Already has a win lace. He's always going to make a. Just gonna make a routine trip for the rune pretty much every single time. At the same time, Tiny's also really good at getting the runes. That's probably going to be the 4-minute fight that we see pretty much every game now.
yeah, we'll see the big old rune fights and the toss avas. I mean, it's a very beefy lineup on the side of DogChamp, so we're probably not going to see any 100 to 0 kills very early. Because, I mean, what,
Yeah.
you got Timber, you got Ogre, and you got Troll. Pretty beefy boys. And
It's
Cobble
really
starts
just
with
about
a decent amount
getting
for
those
500
sixes.
too.
Not yours. says nay, and so do I.
But this mid lane is going to go towards PP's favor, I think. Ray's doing a really good job of putting the pressure onto him. And actually,
Yeah,
wait,
he could actually get the kill here. Has to be forced to fairy fire here, but
needs to be careful though.
yeah, I mean he's gonna burn away ever so slowly. It's only level 1 though, so it's only gonna do 20 damage a tick with all the magic.
It was a really good play from Ray. He was just playing over the fact that he skilled Illusory Orb level 1 to get those range CS.
I'm watching Yarn
Yeah.
down here. He walked it into a bramble.
A Bramble
I was
after
just like
the fact.
casually watching him. Yeah.
And this bot lane is annoying. Now, nice dodge. Every single time he gets hit by the blast, it's kind of a problem, but Luki, as long as he's able to get his level 3 in an expedient amount of time, but
I mean,
taking
he's being
quite a lot of damage.
quite contested here, actually. Luki's about to walk into another
Yeah.
bramble. Yeah. They will claim the first bet.
That was really good placement from the Willow. I actually didn't think he'd walk into... He couldn't see, I think, that second Willow.
Yeah, I
even
wouldn't
though
have
they
been
got
able
the
to see it
pull off.
myself. It's a tight one.
Getting the D ward in the lane as well, so that way Yarn has a little bit of a rougher time just landing those blasts. And I mean, both these heroes kind of need a little bit of a farm in the bot lane. So if they can keep this bot lane pretty subjugated, I think if in Esports are going to be pretty happy.
I mean, I feel like Infinity are already pretty happy off the get-go, because getting a first blood on your Weaver in that lane is such a strong thing. And I mean, now you see them be parsing over to Yaren here. Getting moderately low, and the stun is there from the timer, and they will get it, but Yogi might be the trade.
I think he's going to go down. He's got a big stick, though.
Nah.
Oh, he didn't use it. It's okay, though.
I mean, maybe he felt that if he died, he could just go ahead and grab some items for the Weaver, but the Courier is actually already here, so no Courier management.
Well, and that is the issue that I guess I didn't even think about. It's just this Weaver versus Coddle in this lane. If you ever fall behind on levels, like he's almost level, he's 4.5 on Weaver. Once he gets level 3 Kikuchi, then Yarn, he always needs to be so far away. Otherwise, they're just going to run on him like they did before. So showing up in this bottom lane is, I think Luki needs to start soloing, and Yarn just needs to go get some stacks up.
Keeper's about used up all of his, don't want to say
here we go.
usefulness, and it was like you're saying again, Yarn's just ticking away. Keeper's just got no armor really to work with off the get-go here. It's just dead immediately. I mean, it's only level 1 Swarm too, but like he was -3 armor at the end of that fight, and you saw his HP burst away.
And they're just playing this lane so well.
Yeah, it's definitely time to leave the lane, I'd say, for the Keeper, because Luki can solo, because he is level 4 now, and he's got 2 in reactive and 2 in chain. So his mobility is there and his survivability is there, but he just doesn't want to keep getting these kills fed up. And I mean, you could see that he's applying decent pressure to now the whole entire time.
Well, and the bright side of things is that Ray is really walking over PP in the mid lane. He's 18-6 to 11-2. He does have a wave coming in, but because of how poorly bottom is going, both supports were able to make rotations for the rune, and keeping a DD out of Ray's hands is really annoying. But PP's getting absolutely worked mid. He's finally got his bottle coming out, but they got Luki.
Oh, they do end up soloing down Luki, so maybe I'm completely wrong on my previous statement. I mean, I think he was already half HP, though. That might be the extra kicker there.
I think he was just popping his soaring, being a little bit too confident in
Yaren.
I mean, this Willow is just working out so well.
It's been a long time since I've really, like, seen and watched a real good position 5 Willow just go ham. I mean, the last time we did was when it was the Mars Willow meta, and here we are with Mars and Willow.
Well, and at the same time, Troll is just winning his lane. That is the win your lane, safe lane hero. I feel like it's very difficult for a melee offlaner to get a lot out of the lane. Especially, I think Tiny hasn't had a lot of time to cut the waves, so he's just been making rotations around. So Mars is suffering just a little bit, but I think Infinity Esports, they're okay with suffering in the CS department. Whereas as long as they get their levels, they're going to be able to make plays around the map and come back in that way.
I mean, Weaver is already 6. We're at 6 minutes in. I'm level a minute, more or less. Like, he's actually tied level-wise with PP here. PP only a little bit ahead overall. But
and they're
here's what I
smoking
was
on the
talking
6.
about. As soon as you hit level 6 on Puck, the first thing you want to do is rotate. So you see
They want to get Troll too before 6.
Yeah, you saw that Pamp was hanging out in the river here. They wanted to get the smoke. They do find B9. The stun is there, and the coil will follow. Likely the spear to... Nope.
The
I was
break.
going to say the toss to boot and the spear to follow. But nah, PP is perfectly fine with confirming this one. And there it is. Obviously, they do want to get the troll. That was like the main target, like you're talking about, that needs to go down in the most ideal scenario. But now the support is dead in the lane. So they're able to apply pressure to the troll if need be. Or want to be.
When it just gives Little Boy a little bit of space, he's just able to farm up, get some easy CS and levels, and it's good positioning from B9. That's not a death that you feel too bad about tanking for your 4 creep. And Luki hitting 6 as well, he's going to be able to make some rotations, but it feels like he needs items. That's how a lot of the heroes operate on DogChamp. They need items to make plays. Otherwise, it's just going to keep on being annoying. Yeah, he missed.
He whiffed the tree grab there, but he is going to at least be able to chain for a second time. And knowing that there's no stun available, he'll get out of that one. Since he saw the Cursed Crown at the beginning.
And really, I mean, 10 seconds on coil. Then we're going to have to see where the Puck decides to play. And if he keeps on making plays like this, Ray is having relative free farm, and he's trying to make a play of his own.
Looks like gets exactly what happened instantaneously. I mean, it was like we were talking about earlier, though. This is the rotate and gank team, and I mean, they do manage to get Pampalova on top of it, and
he needs to be careful.
PP unable to actually get the kill with the coil there.
Yeah, they just stood a little bit too far up, and that was what I was slightly worried about. They punished the Mars not being level 6. He didn't feel that strong. Now Ray's going to be able to get a haste rune. And every single time a coil doesn't lead to a kill, it really, really feels bad. Because now, your damage, you need to wait for your more levels, you need to wait for your Witchblade, and during this 50-second period, you just don't feel like that strong of a hero. Because the hero has been nerfed pretty routinely, where the other spells don't really make the hero quite as much as coil.
B9.
With Little Boy's level 6, he should be able to rotate. Oh no.
B9's in a bit of trouble up here, however. The troll actually started the TP out of there.
Coming.
Ray is here. They will at least get 1 for 1 here, support for support. Yogi's starting the TP. I think that might have been a little bit of an ambitious one, but he'll be back in 20 seconds. They might be able to get Pamp. No, he's fine.
Well, and they've made the rotations. Creep's gone to the bot lane, getting that T1 tower. Same time, now in the top lane. Just doing normal Dota stuff at this point.
You know, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, that, like, you really like the names of, like, the heroes in NA, or the players of an NA, because they're all very simple names. And in my mind, I see the name Creep, and I'm like, God, that's such a perfect name. How was that not taken? Speaking of not getting taken, though, Yaren will end up going down. They do get the trade, and that's the first drop of the arena. Down in bot, though. PP might be in trouble here.
Yeah,
Creep
making
is
a play.
wrapping in. They do have Whirling Axes ranged and melee.
He's got his ulti.
And, I mean,
Not even gonna need
that's
it.
just it. Like, you don't want a coil defensive, and there's no tower to work from, so he just gets netted from just right-clicks and dies.
Yeah, he just got a little bit too greedy. He wasn't even the hero that defended that tower or TP down there. He kind of came after the fact to farm and maybe not realizing it, but a little bit of a sloppy play.
Yogi in trouble.
Oh, I don't think he's surviving.
By a dagger there. They are going to try to go for the terrorize. Still gets it out. But there's no real way they can get this kill on Pamp, because in the backlines, B9 was floating out.
And this is what I was worried about on Infinity Esports lineup. While they do have these really strong ultimates, these really strong spells, wait, top.
Oh, yep, top. Weaver's in a bit of trouble here. This is what we were looking at very early, is that Luki can kind of just dive. I mean, he's not afraid to stand under the tower. That's the power of the Timber Saw. But now with the extra TP rotation in there.
Yeah, now has to be so careful.
Even the Tiny here as well. All of Infinity is up here except for your Mars in the mid. They drop the coil and they toss him up for the break. And no, he's just out of range for break. He is silenced up, though, underneath some brambles, and they will finally get the kill. But they expended so much for this, and in this time, they have to fortify the bot tower because you see that DogChamp is pushing into this bot tower.
And it feels... It's getting to the point, though, where it feels bad to be using your spells in this way. They weren't able to get the break. It wasn't a fast kill, so they're making so much space across the map, and every single death, it feels like, on DogChamp hasn't been in a bad way. Because now you get to put pressure on this mid tower, you're going to start forcing heroes here. You're just going to recall Luki with your Coddle once you get up. And, I mean, you're getting the better end of all of these trades if you're DogChamp.
Yeah, they may only be down by 2 kills, and actually that's just it. They're only down by 2 kills because they have the lead on towers now. They have the 2K net worth overall advantage, and yeah, it's just DogChamp are getting much more out of the map than anybody else, and that's because of, just like you're saying, the kills that just can't happen if circumstances go wrong.
Oh, and
Luki, though, might be playing a little bit aggressive here. There is a stun that goes out on the back of Little Boy, but aggressive gets punished. Luki will go down for this, but Ray comes in and finds one. I think the burn damage will be enough out onto Dark Willow as well, so he'll slowly die here. But the coil goes out in the back lines. They will be able to find the kill in Yogi at time place, but they will get the coil trade-off. 2 good kills for that. They might get 3. It's the DD rune and the avalanche. That will confirm it. 3 kills for the price of your Mars and Dark Willow. 4 kills, actually, and I think that is a very nice trade. They'll go for this mid tower, and I mean, Luki will come back, but with a DD on the puck, I imagine they want to try to get at least finish it.
And that was just a slight overextension from DogChamp. I mean, it felt like they were doing what they needed to do, and whenever these ultimates get only 1-2 kills, it doesn't feel too bad, especially when your cores are farming, but a beautiful coil, to be honest. Just getting those a 4-man wipe this early on is really important. They just want to keep fighting now because those cooldowns are gone, but they still have Mars ulti. And that's kind of the problem of Infinity Esports, is as they get a little bit higher level, these cooldowns do get shorter, and then they're just going to be able to continuously fight you whenever you want to take their side of the map.
Weird that the ability guides still show up when you look at things while you're doing observing. But you're right, the more levels that they get, the more kills that they get, the quicker these cooldowns will come off CD, and I mean, they're all strong stuff. Like, this is Infinity's draft, is play the team fight. And they could do this extremely well in comparison to DogChamp. The disengage potential for DogChamp is really just Luki tree chaining out and Keeper calling somebody back so long as they don't get hit.
Well, and if they are able to get farm going, I mean, they're smoked up now. This is going to be a huge fight.
This could be good if they get multiple.
They're going to get Yaren.
Yeah, if they find Yaren, the supports are locked in, and the coil will be dedicated as well as the arena. So locked in there. The screen does
got to
go
get out.
And there's nothing there.
They got him.
Actually gets hit by the fear, the little clip of the fear there, and now he's just going to try to click away on the creep. He has to ult if he wants to live, but Yogi, he can't go into the Shadow Realm, so he's going to be going down here, but creep will still get traded off. They do actually lose one. They lost the Mars on the backlines to Luki here.
Luki's got no stacks.
Yeah, he's got no real escape. He's just burning away here. He's got no stacks, no HP to work with. But is that? Oh, I thought I missed. I
He's
missed
actually gonna walk away.
something there. I think the Weaver time lapsed, and that confused me. I thought he was gonna keep on going there, but I guess it felt too scary for them to stay as long as they were.
And that is always the threat. When he's got your attributes ticking down, you always have to be scared of just... With Agi heroes, he'll just hit you, he'll right-click you, and you'll be like, what just did so much damage? But, I mean, he is able to walk it off, and that is kind of the strength of the hero. Nobody's building a Spirit Vessel, I don't think, on that team. I guess he's getting it on Dark Willow now. But Mars?
Oh, yep, Mars, they're going for this kill. Actually, they might be able to find this kill, and they do get Ray. But Creep is going to be able to get the trade off.
Oh, no.
Though. They go jump in, Pamela,
They
will throw him onto the Mars,
Oh?
but Mars doesn't have a response for that. He actually just dies. Nothing was up and ready to go, and maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, as they will find this kill on the Tiny as well. But now PP coming in, they will throw the coil out, but I mean, what are you going to get with it? Well, they get a Keeper, and they might be able to get B9. I say that, though. The stuns are going to be there now. Well, He's not really concerned, actually. B9 with literally no armor available. Resets the bug. Might get the kill. No. Interesting.
Yeah, some small, strange plays, like tossing the troll onto the Mars after I think both of his spells were on cooldown. And the Weaver just needs to be there just slightly earlier. That was looking incredibly good. They were able to get Ray and trade the Dark Wolf for him, but just staying a little bit too long, and Creep was kiting like a master there. Doesn't get coiled, just cool as a cucumber, stays there, fights for as long as he can, and just walks away. I mean, now they want to fight. They've got the Orchid. They're smoking with it.
I mean, the kill that they're going to get is Weaver, and that's actually a really nice kill if they find him. They throw the ward down. They see him farming. Ray comes in. He's got the silence to follow boot, and B9, he needs to get there to get the stun, and there it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did you say
Incredibly close.
Yeah, I think it was about like 0.5 seconds left in that silence. Good timing, though. They still managed to get the kill, and that's what you'd like to see from DogChamp, because you know that the team fight ability from Infinity is severely better in comparison, so they need to use their lockdowns accordingly. It was like you were talking about during draft, that their lockdowns are purely based around the speed at which that this Orchid can come online. And we're at 17 minutes in, and this is a pretty good time for it to be online.
And it's just so annoying for the Weaver because I think, like we saw yesterday, Weaver, unless you're Fear, I guess, and you just buy a Manta style, but you want to get the BKB. You don't want to be forced to get both, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yogi, in
they've got him.
I mean, they'll throw the stun out on him. He's actually going to burn just the fire alone. He pumped the Terrorize, but couldn't find it. Now they want to find B9, though.
He's got BKB on creep. Oh, this could be a big bait.
I think they see that the BKB is live, so they're not going to try to contest it that hard.
Well, the only problem from Infinity Esports, while this Weaver is extremely farmed, he does need space and time to finish that Sanj and Yasha BKB. But Creep, I mean, he already has his BKB. If they can get objectives like Roche, like a few more tier 2 towers, then they might be able to keep the snowball going. And I think that's really the only play that DogChamp has. They just need to keep their cores ahead of the cores on Infinity Esports. Because you don't have lockdown for this Weaver, truly. You don't have lockdown for this Puck. And when they're able to run around in these fights, it's going to get much, much harder. Because we've got Tiny Blink as well. They're probably just looking for a play to be made. And yeah, they're going to Roche.
I mean, it's a safe run at it at the moment. They know that there's nobody they could really get the scout at, but I mean, the ward sees it all. But there's also no forward ward from DogChamp either, so they can't. Well, there's the forward ward.
They need to be careful about how this fight starts.
Are they going to get any information from this? I mean, Infinity are smoked up. They've got the coil. They want to walk in. B9. They open with the fear, and the coil goes through. It's a beautiful break. And Pam comes in there. They're going to drop the avalanche, getting 3 kills. Infinity playing it like a fiddle, and they're going to go for more. They get the sideline jump on the keeper. Yaren just barely getting out of there.
And now it's Roche.
I mean, the Roche was also basically dead. And it's a free Roche completely.
I mean, they just didn't expect it. I don't know if they didn't have vision of the will. They didn't have wards outside the pit. You saw B9 place this 1 ward in the large camp to scout out, but they didn't expect them to get there that fast, I guess. And that was the play they needed to make. They wanted to force a fight, but they just lost. No, they didn't get BKB off on Troll. They didn't have any power in the pit.
I think the other thing that just didn't really help them is that they didn't de-ward this vision ward here right off the get-go. You saw they placed a sentry, and it was just barely out of range of the observer. So they thought, oh, I guess they won't know. Well, B9.
Oh, and again?
Yeah, he's in trouble here.
And Yaren. Oh, no.
Yeah, no real escape for them. Yaren's going to get picked in the backlines by now while they find the pick on B9 in the frontal.
And they got Creep.
Creep pops his BKB. And the thing is that they'll be able to kite this this troll as much as humanly possible because there's no disable. You see he's going Basher next. Can't find the spear, and Creep ulted up. Luki missing the tree, and Coil's back up already, ladies and gentlemen. That's Puck gameplay right there.
You forced to use your 10-second defensively. That was just a really that cascade just feels so bad because you don't even want to be there. You want to farm your triangle, but with these heroes you just want to split the lanes. But now this Weaver is just starting to feel so strong. He's just killing your supports in the backline, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Aghanim Scepter is going to be next for the puck. That's going to be like the big team fight keeper. I think as soon as that's up, that's just game, because the BKBs are going to do anything for this. I mean, are we seeing a BK? Never mind. I was going to say, are we going to see a BKB quap? And it's up right now. Hex is going to be next. I mean, the farming speed of a puck is going to be much quicker than a troll right now, because this is not Battle Fury troll. It's Maelstrom troll.
And yeah, and it's what we see typically nowadays. He does have the Basher queued up, but he just feels so thin. There's no S and Y. There's no really meaty in-between item. It's just this Maelstrom BKB. Oh, they got another 10-second.
Yep, they do
He's
find
out.
Quap, but he's...
He did burn.
You had the dagger, but, I mean, what? They dropped the 10-second for a tiny?
Yeah, he just got initiated on. I guess he thought there was backup. He didn't want to get terrorized out of it. And, I mean, you're forcing all of these plays that DogChamp have to react to, and they're not getting the greatest farm out of the map. They're not getting any objectives right now. And once this puck has Ags, I mean, then the troll doesn't have a game. Then the troll has to be scared whenever he ulties, because if he gets dragged out of the coil, then you're stunned for 5 seconds.
Is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
That's gonna be a massacre, more or less. Weaver
and this
actually
was the-
finishing Glyphnir very early.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's weird
That's
to
a
see the
satisfying
Glyphnir
item.
rush, to be well, not a rush, more or less. He's got the S and Y, but it's weird to see early Glyphnirs.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Well, and I
under
guess
attack.
looking at his options, you didn't want to purchase a You never want to buy a BKB while you have an Aegis. You want to feel like you're ahead, so you keep buying items to be ahead.
Well, it looks like DogChamp. I think they were trying to make a push out on BP here. He does
It's
get
not the
Yules, but
Yules.
that's not his own. He does have a personal still available, but the Avalanche combo
Oh.
goes out. They do get 3 in this coil, and the Terrorize goes out. They're going to terrorize the troll. He's feared to death. He can't even pop his ultimate. He'll find this kill, and they really want to get PP. They want to get him
gonna get
bad.
PP.
He Yuleses, but they can't find... they do find the kill on PP, but they trade. They get Ray Elisa and most likely Lukey, as Lukey is within range
he needed
of
to start his
Weaver's
TP.
existence, though. There is no Yules.
Oh,
the
no.
Glyphnir! They find the Glyphnir Ratos, and they will break that TP. And with no mana and no HP available, Lukey goes down. A triple for the Weaver.
And you see there, that's the problem with this lineup. They have no lockdown. It was a first phase puck as well. They don't have no control for the puck in any way. They banned out the Pit Lord, and that's like that's the most common hero to pick whenever you want to get him down. And oh, Yarn,
He does end up hitting the glyph onto Yara in there, but
Middle tower is under attack.
not going to run at it at the moment. I mean, this
and
is...
when yeah, it
This
feels
is-
really bad.
yeah, it's a hard game now. It felt like DogChamp, they had that grip on the lead for a little bit there, but
Is under attack.
I mean, it's going back to the original statement is that Infinity Esports have a team fight draft, and team fight draft with better disables and more reliable disables usually wins a game in comparison to, say, relying on the RNG of stun from Troll, or from both Troll and Ogre.
Is under attack.
And then, of course, the Quap is the other option here. I mean, what were the other the other cores that they banned out that would have been in this troll slot? The Jug doesn't have a stun. The Monkey King.
Jug doesn't have a stun. It really would have been like Monkey King or... I think the troll isn't the problem, though. It goes back to this kind of core ideology, I think, that DogChamp kind of had going into this draft, where we need to win our lanes, we need to keep that momentum, and we need to keep making plays. When they went into the pit, they had a 3k gold lead and a really early BKB on creep, but it really goes back to that Roche that has just bought Infinity Esports all the space in the world. And now with these really strong item timings coming out, like, it feels like it's going to continue to be a downhill, or a down spiral, rather.
Infinity, though. Actually, they were smoked up. I think they saw Ray for like a split second. Weaver might be trying to scout ahead here, but the keeper
He's
is going to
recalling.
send him back. Yeah. Just to be safe.
But now all these heroes that had such a good start on DogChamp are kind of afraid to show in these lanes because you're just going to get run at.
Like we see here, there is going to be a silence out onto Weaver, but a good fear puts the rest of the team behind. Don't think they want to make a team fight off of this quite yet, though. They want to get the jump in for Little Boy, but they find Troll with the immediate skewer, and Creep is just insta-dead. You do see the BKB from Ray. They will find the trade out onto the Tiny here and put now in a very Sexy Yogi in a very precarious situation. They find the kill on now with the stun there combo. Well, that's good. That's a very good trade to end up getting in that scenario. You get 2 for 1. However, it is your Troll that keeps dying in this scenario. But looking at the gold change, it's